I am a reference librarian at the Worcester branch of the Wayne County Public Library. Today, I am here to review The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. So, Lucy Foley is the author of The Guest List, which was a dark, twisty mystery, and I loved it when I read it. So, I definitely had wanted to check out her newest novel, which is The Paris Apartment. So, the main character in this novel is Jess. She is broke. She's also from England. She's alone, and she kind of thinks the perfect place to kind of refresh her life is going to start with a visit to her brother Ben at his Parisian apartment. So she calls up Ben, and he says, "Yes, definitely come visit me." And so it's literally the next day. Jess arrives in Paris at the address Ben gave her. It's late at night and he's not there to let her in. So, where is Ben? Why won't he answer her texts or her calls? And in the end, Jess actually has to break into his apartment to wait for him. And she keeps thinking, oh, he'll be back soon, right? So Ben's absence isn't the only confusing thing for Jess. What is with this stunning apartment house? It's gorgeous, and her first thought is, how can Ben afford this? Now, a bit of backstory. Jess and Ben were orphaned when their mother OD'd when they were both children. They were put into the foster system, and ultimately, Ben hit the jackpot when he was adopted by a wealthy family. This family sent him to a fancy boarding school. He went to college at Cambridge. They showered him in fancy clothes, cars, and so on. Now, Jess unfortunately was left behind, and she bounced from foster home to foster home growing up. She's definitely happy for Ben, you can tell, but there's also this undercurrent of jealousy when she, even standing in his apartment now is comparing, oh, look at this new TV, or look at this, it's not the best couch, but it's a better couch than what I have. So, when she compares her life, there's this little bit of jealousy. Now, Ben has been trying to make it as a journalist since he graduated from college, but he doesn't really seem to have to worry about money all that much while he waits for his big break of a story. Meanwhile, Jess has been bartending. So back to, the current time of the novel. So it's been about 24 hours and Ben has still not come home. And so Jess starts digging into where he might be because he's still not answering her calls or her text messages. And at this point, Jess does what I think I would probably also do. She decides to ask his neighbors, when was the last time you saw my brother? But the more she interacts with these wealthy, standoffish, snobby not neighbors in this apartment building, the more questions she has because they all seem to be hiding something. So Ben's neighbors are a very eclectic bunch, and no one seems particularly friendly. Now, the majority of the chapters are from Jess's point of view, and kind of focus on her attempt to find Ben. But Lucy Foley also gives us chapters from some of these neighbors' points of view. So we have Mimi. She is a young, awkward artist who seems to have had quite the crush on Ben. We have Nick, the nice guy who knew Ben from their college years and actually helped him get the apartment space. We have Sophie, the socialite with a very wealthy and domineering husband, and who may have a questionable past. And we have the concierge. So the concierge does not even get a name for most of the novel, which I think our author does to kind of show how some wealthy people may see those in service positions, unfortunately. But the concierge has an advantage in that her apartment might be the tiniest one in this building, but it is at the very top. And so she can see everything, the courtyard, the parking, people coming and going. So she might know what's going on. So, wow, what a group of unreliable and dysfunctional characters to have here. Jess, along with all the other apartment neighbors, even those without chapter points of view, are really well described. But it's actually going to take about 75% of the book for the reader to truly appreciate the subtlety and nuance that Lucy Foley folds into each of these characters. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, but Jess ultimately learns what Ben was investigating in his role as a reporter, and she realizes she needs to be afraid. Something is not right, and she may very well be next on the chopping block. And she thinks everyone in this Paris apartment is a suspect. So that is about as much as I can say without giving away too much of the plot and the twists and whatnot. But with her signature style, Lucy Foley delivers a fast paced, multi layered mystery. The twists just keep on coming. And overall, this was a fun read. I love the way Lucy Foley brings a sort of classic format to these modern mysteries. It's just really appealing to me. And so I hope you really like it too. Thank you for joining me.